Let me give you a quick update after spending 5 or 6 hours going through my case with my legal team and hearing my options. My options of showing remorse, my options of mitigation. I'm sorry, it goes totally against my principles and values to do that. In the sense that the allegations against me, which they want to send me to jail for, is that I quoted what a head teacher had said. So the head teacher made an accusation, I quoted it. That's what they're saying I've committed contempt of court. Another one that they say I committed contempt of court is because I read what the school record said. Well, am I guilty of sharing that information with you? Yes, I am. Am I guilty of repeating those allegations in interviews? Yes, I am. Am I sorry for that? No, I'm not. So quite simply, if my actions as a journalist and someone who believes in freedom of speech and freedom of the press and believes in showing the public the truth make me on the wrong side of your corrupt bullshit, unlawful in my eyes, injunctions, then that's how it is. I'm on the wrong side of it, yeah? I'm not remorseful for that. I am happy. I'm remorseful for what you're going to do to me, but I am happy that I stood for truth and freedom when many others wouldn't have, and when you attempted to silence me. I'm happy that I've not allowed you to silence me, and I'm happy that I've given the public the testimonies of the witnesses and the evidence of the school records so they can see and make their own mind up. I'm not telling them what to think. I'm just giving them the information to see for themselves, which is what this has been about, is hiding that information. So I face 100% certain imprisonment on multiple charges. The reason being, I could go in looking at this case and I could say, well, no, I didn't do that, and try and argue certain aspects. I don't want to. I own that. I 100% own that I stood for freedom and truth against your corrupt injunction. So, if that lands me on the wrong side of the law in Great Britain as a journalist, and that's where it lands me. And if that lands me in Belmarsh Prison for showing you, the public, the truth, then that's where it lands me. That's where I have to go. Because I can't... obviously my legal advice is, well, we're advising you to do this, and that goes against, it totally goes against my principles and why, and the importance. My right to free speech and my right to freedom of press and my rights as a journalist, in my eyes, 100% override your bullshit injunctions that try to prohibit the public knowing the truth. Okay? That's my job as a journalist. I've been good at my job. That's all I'm guilty of. So, it don't look, well, in fact, it don't look great. It's guaranteed. I'm off Monday, man. It's guaranteed. Maybe before Monday, we'll see. I hope I'm there with you all on Saturday, but I'm just giving you all an update as to my thinking at the minute after 5 or 6 hours and seeing what the charges are, because I didn't really care. Right? Oh, you committed contempt of court. Yeah, really? How? You repeated what the head teacher said. Yeah, I did, yeah. I did, because journalists didn't tell anyone what the head teacher said. Because the courts didn't listen to what the head teacher said. Because none of the media reported what the head teacher said. Even though the head teacher tells us in covert recordings, he told the media. So yeah, I showed the public what people said. And if that finds me guilty, I'm guilty, mate. I'm guilty, and unapologetically guilty.
Tommy Robinson, in his latest video, offers a detailed and passionate reflection on his ongoing legal battle, highlighting his steadfast commitment to his principles despite the looming threat of imprisonment. After spending several hours consulting with his legal team, he recounts how they presented him with various options, including the possibility of showing remorse and seeking mitigation, which could potentially lead to a more lenient sentence. However, Robinson vehemently rejects these options, explaining that they conflict with his core beliefs. He makes it clear that he refuses to apologize for actions he sees as fully justified, particularly in the context of his work as a journalist and a defender of free speech. The crux of the allegations against Robinson centers on his decision to publicly share information that he obtained from a head teacher and school records. According to Robinson, the legal system accuses him of contempt of court for simply repeating what the head teacher had said and for revealing the contents of the school records in interviews. While he acknowledges that he did, in fact, share this information, he remains unapologetic, insisting that his actions were driven by a desire to bring the truth to light. For him, the public has a right to know the details of what was said by key figures in the case, and he stands by his decision to make that information available. Robinson's stance is rooted in his deep belief in the fundamental rights to freedom of speech and freedom of the press. He portrays himself as a defender of these values, even in the face of what he describes as corrupt and unlawful injunctions designed to silence him. In his view, these legal restrictions are an attempt to prevent the public from accessing critical information, and he takes pride in the fact that he has not been silenced, despite the efforts to shut him down. Robinson's primary goal, as he states, is to give the public access to the testimonies and records so that they can form their own opinions rather than being dictated to by the media or the legal system. Despite the legal risks he faces, Robinson remains defiant. He openly admits that he could pursue a different legal strategy, one that might involve denying certain charges or attempting to negotiate a lesser punishment. Instead, he fully owns his actions, declaring that he stood for truth and freedom in the face of what he perceives to be a corrupt system. He sees his role as a journalist as paramount, and in his eyes, his rights as a journalist to report the truth far outweigh any legal injunctions that have been placed on him. He is unrepentant for what he has done and unapologetically stands by his decision to reveal the information he uncovered. Robinson acknowledges that the outcome of his case is inevitable. He is certain that he will be imprisoned. He describes the charges against him as carrying the near certainty of incarceration, and he expresses a resigned acceptance of this fact. In his view, imprisonment is the price he must pay for standing up for his beliefs, and he is willing to pay that price. He explains that, while his legal advisors have recommended a more pragmatic approach, he cannot in good conscience follow their advice, as it would require him to compromise his principles. In his message, Robinson also reflects on the broader implications of his case, seeing it as part of a larger struggle between the individual's right to free speech and the power of the state to suppress dissent. He frames his battle as one not just for his own freedom, but for the right of journalists and citizens alike to speak the truth without fear of legal retribution. He believes that the injunctions against him are part of a broader effort to stifle voices like his, and he takes pride in his refusal to be silenced. As he faces the prospect of imprisonment, Robinson remains resolute. He expresses hope that he will still be able to attend upcoming events, but he is also realistic about the likelihood that he will be taken into custody before long. Despite this, his message is one of defiance and pride. He is not remorseful for his actions, and he does not seek sympathy for the consequences he is about to face. Instead, he presents himself as someone who has fought for the truth and who is willing to accept the punishment that comes with that fight. Robinson's unwavering stance is clear. He would rather face imprisonment than betray his commitment to truth and freedom of speech. In conclusion, Robinson's message is not just about his legal case. It's a broader statement about the role of journalism, the importance of free speech, and the need to challenge what he sees as corrupt legal systems that seek to suppress the truth. He remains unapologetically committed to his actions, even as he faces the certainty of imprisonment. And he urges the public to understand that his fight is ultimately about ensuring that the truth is not hidden, no matter the personal cost to him. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join the free Telegram group linked in the description, where we can talk freely and uncensored about important issues like this and support each other. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and become a channel member for exclusive content. See you next time.